Hello folks, and welcome to the golden age of bullshit lawsuits, where everybody is suing for every ridiculous thing. Well, another ridiculous lawsuit has come to my attention, and here it goes. And this one somewhat personally applies to me, as I am a New York Jets fan. Now apparently there's been a lawsuit filed, $6 billion in, excuse me, maybe I should sue who taught me how to talk. But anyway, apparently a lawsuit has been filed seeking $6 billion in damages against the New York Giants and New York Jets because two people feel as though they were duped by the fact that the Giants and Jets don't play in New York, they actually play in New Jersey. And apparently this upsets them. Now, I am from New Jersey. The Jets play in New Jersey. They call themselves New York. I'm a Jets fan. It doesn't bother me. There's my Jets tattoo. This is one of my several Jets hats. This one doesn't say New York on it. Some of them do, some of them don't. This doesn't bother me. Now, apparently the one guy in the lawsuit, who's a Giants fan, or the one guy that's part of the lawsuit, he's a Giants fan. And he said he was shocked to find out that his beloved New York Giants don't actually play in New York. And I guess this guy lives in New York. How far up his ass is this guy's head that he doesn't know the Giants don't play in New York? They've played in New Jersey since 1976. And before that, if I'm not mistaken, they played a couple years in Connecticut while Giant Stadium was being built in New Jersey. So unless you've not been paying attention at all, this is not news. The Giants have not played in New York for years. The Jets last played in New York in 1983. Now they play in New Jersey. Now, as I understand it, if I'm not mistaken, there's a law that says you can call, or a rule in the NFL that says you can call yourself, that you can use that city's name in your name if you play within 30 miles of it. Now, East Rutherford, New Jersey, it's about 10 miles away from New York City. You can see the skyline in New York from East Rutherford, so that's close enough. So what's the big deal? Now, while we're on the subject of ridiculous lawsuits, then shouldn't Bills fans be suing? Because technically the Bills actually play in Orchard Park, New York. That's not Buffalo, that's Orchard Park. The 49ers actually play in Santa Clara. That's Santa Clara, not San Francisco. And while we're really being ridiculous, shouldn't the Phillies sue? Well, not the Phillies. Shouldn't some people sue because the Phillies play in South Philadelphia? But it only says Philadelphia in their name. It doesn't say South Philadelphia. Isn't this potentially offensive to the good people of South Philadelphia? What about when the Phillies used to play in North Philadelphia? They had no reference to North Philadelphia at all. So I guess by that logic, people could sue the 49ers for being in Santa Clara, the Bills for being in Orchard Park, the Phillies having no reference to South Philadelphia. Shouldn't it be the South Philadelphia Phillies? There was a rumor going around at the tail end of the 80s that the 76ers were going to move over to Camden. But they were still going to call themselves Philadelphia. Hey, I was born in Camden, wouldn't bother me. I'm not a 76ers fan, but Camden's here, Philadelphia's here. It's right there, separated by a river. Now, I imagine no one is going to win any money in this ridiculous lawsuit. I don't even know how this lawsuit made it past anything. It's ridiculous. The people that are going to win out of this are the lawyers. And I don't blame them. Hey, if someone somehow manages to get a stupid lawsuit passed and you can charge legal fees for this ridiculous bullshit, go ahead. Hey, if I were a lawyer, I'd take on these ridiculous cases too. If you want to be stupid with this ridiculous lawsuit, then go ahead. I'll take your money. Now, of course, I'm not a lawyer. But it just seems like, you know, I mean, this has probably happened as long as there's been lawsuits and lawyers, but it just seems like we're really in what I call the golden age of bullshit lawsuits. And this one's really one of the toppers. $6 billion in damages because they were duped by the fact that the Giants and Jets don't actually play in New York, and the one guy was shocked to find out his beloved New York Giants don't play in New York. And this guy apparently lives in New York. Pull head out of ass and pay attention. Neither team has played in New York in years. The Giants haven't played in New York since the 70s. The Jets since the 80s. And as I said, I'm from New Jersey. It doesn't bother me. I'm still a Jets fan.
Hey, I'm in the front.
I'm wearing a Jets hat. I'll keep wearing a Jets hat. I got Jets jerseys. Some of them say New York on it. What are you going to do? I guess you're either going to keep rooting for the team, find another team, or file a stupid, fucking, ridiculous lawsuit. Me, I'll just keep rooting for the team. If I'm going to piss away money, why not at least buy team merchandise? Then I get something for the money. If I were to piss away money on a stupid lawsuit, you know what I would get? Jack shit, and that's what I fucking deserve.